The banner of the University of South Carolina, Aiken, and the University Banner Party. The banner of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. The banner of the College of Sciences and Engineering. The banner of the School of Business Administration. The banner of the School of Education. The banner of the School of Nursing. The December degree candidates. The faculty of the University of South Carolina, Aiken. The Platform Party. The Chancellor of the University of South Carolina, Aiken.
Good evening. Would you please remain standing as Ms. Leandra Jackson, who's studying music here at USC Aiken, leads us in the singing of the national anthem. She'll be followed by the invocation delivered by Mr. Colin O'Brien, a Bachelor of Science degree candidate in Business Administration.
Oh, sing, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket regular, the bombs burst in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the stars mingled and yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Leandra. So before we get started today, please join me in appreciating how blessed we are to have accomplished what we have. Standing here today, it's important to remember the privilege we have in being here. Not everyone has the opportunity to go to school, and many of those who do don't get to make it to this point. So please, let's make the most of this. And let's also take a moment to appreciate all of our friends and family who supported us the whole way through. For some of us, that was emotional support. For the rest of us, that was financial support. So thank you for that. Without them, none of this really means anything, so let's go ahead and give a round of applause for the friends and family of us. All right, so with that said, please enjoy the proceedings, and remember, even though we're done with school, we're never done learning. Thank you.
Please be seated. It is my honor to welcome you to our annual Convocation ceremony to recognize the University of South Carolina Aiken December graduates. This evening, we celebrate the achievements of students who've completed their degree requirements for the master's degree or the baccalaureate degree. This is a solemn and dignified ceremony, steeped in tradition dating back to the 12th century and marking a special time in our students' lives. Many aspects of the ceremony, including our academic regalia, reflect the traditions associated with awarding a degree and date back to a much, much earlier time. But among those things that were not present in the 12th century are the pager, the cell phone, and other electronic devices. Out of respect for our degree candidates and their families, and as a courtesy to the guests around you, could you take a moment now, please, and silence the pagers, cellular phones, reminders on your watches, and so forth, anything that might beep or chirp during the ceremony. I want to especially welcome the families and friends of our graduates. We are pleased that you're here today with us and part of this special moment in the lives of our students. Commencements and convocations are ceremonies that mark a new beginning and are celebrations of hope and joy much like the holiday season now upon us. The class of 2019 represents our hope for the future of our communities, our nation, and our world. It has been my pleasure, really it's been my honor, to watch them mature into the professional, engaged citizens they've become. This time of year is a special season, and for these graduates even more so. As they cross the stage tonight, perhaps after taking a brief break, many of these students will begin exciting professional careers they've dreamed about and that they've worked so hard to achieve. Others are entering graduate programs or professional schools to further their education before entering their professions. Still others have decided to take a break from school, and several are volunteering to serve globally through the Peace Corps or other service entities. No matter their individual paths, we are deeply proud of their current and their future accomplishments. As the 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, said, quote, "Let us think of education as a means of developing our greatest abilities, because in each of us there is a private hope and dream which, fulfilled, can translate into benefit for everyone and a greater strength for our nation," end quote. Students, tonight as we celebrate with you all that you have accomplished and learned at USC Aiken, please know that your talents, your knowledge, and your abilities can be beneficial not just for you, but for your friends, your family, your colleagues, your community, and in many cases, your country. Use those abilities to make your piece of the world a little better. As I shared with you during your freshman convocation several years ago, knowledge is of little value until you put it into practice for the benefit of the greater good. Your professors seated here and I take pride in knowing you now go forward into our community to build successful careers and compose amazing lives based on the foundations laid by those who love you, strengthened by your early education, and sharply honed by USC Aiken. I encourage you to make the most of every opportunity before you. And I have absolutely no doubt that you will represent your alma mater well. Your professors, your mentors, and your colleagues here at USC Aiken will continue to follow your accomplishments with tremendous pride. At this time, I'd now like to recognize several special guests who are joining us this evening to celebrate your commencement. As I call your name, I'm going to ask our guests to stand and stay standing until all the individuals in your group have been recognized. Audience, if you would, please hold your applause until all guests have been recognized. Let's begin with the platform party. From the University of South Carolina Board of Trustees, the Honorable Miles Lodholt. And he is the only trustee here, so we recognize him now. From the Aiken County Legislative Delegation, we have with us tonight Representative William Clyburn and Representative Bart Blackwell. Thank you for joining us. From the Aiken County Commission for Higher Education, Ms. Teresa Haas, Chair of the Commission, Mr. Clarence Jackson, Mr. Charles Marvin, Mr. Timothy Simmons, Mr. King Lawrence, Ms. Jackie Busby. From the University of South Carolina, Aiken, Dr. Darren Timmons, Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Mr. Jim Herlihy, Director of Athletics, Mr. Cam Reagan, Vice Chancellor for Administration and Finance, Mr. Ernest Pringle, Vice Chancellor for Information Technology, Mr. Ahmed Samaha, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Ms. Carmen Williams, Chair of the Staff Assembly, Ms. Leandra Jackson, music major, who sang the national anthem and will sing the alma mater, Mr. Blake Lephart, President of the USC Aiken Alumni Association, Dr. Lynn Rhodes, Chair of the Faculty Assembly, Dr. Judy Beck, Dean of the School of Education, Dr. Michael Fakula, Dean of the School of Business Administration, Dr. Mark Hollingsworth, Dean of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, Dr. Thayer McGahey, Dean of the School of Nursing, Dr. Chad Leverett, Interim Dean of the College of Sciences and Engineering, and Ms. Caladrin Porters, President of the Student Government Association. Welcome. We have several special guests in the audience with us tonight as well. Mr. James Whittle, husband of our keynote speaker, and Mrs. Whittle's special guests, Dr. Carol Bosch and Dr. Robert Bosch. We're so pleased you're able to join us this evening. And additionally, I'd like to recognize the first gent, the one the students call the first dude of USC Aiken, my husband, Michael Jordan. A ceremony such as the one we will experience in just a few moments tonight does not happen without the hard work of many individuals. Please let me take just a moment to recognize the members of the December Convocation Committee listed in your program, and specifically the announcer of our degree candidates, Mr. Chris Clark, the announcer of the processional, Mr. John Hutchins, our interpreter, Leslie Kleepak, and the music provided by our own University Wind Ensemble under the baton of Dr. Hayes Bunch. And now I'd like to recognize Mr. Blake Leppard, President of our Alumni Association, and ask him to come forward now to introduce USC Aiken's outstanding senior student.
Good evening. Fellow Pacers from all of the alumni of the University of South Carolina, Aiken, congratulations. I know this is a special night for you as graduates and your families, and I'm grateful to be a part of this special ceremony honoring and recognizing you. I look forward to having you join us as a part of the alumni family tonight. We are all very proud of you, and like Chancellor Jordan, your fellow Pacer alumni are watching with great anticipation to see what you will do next, with the knowledge you've gained here, with the confidence you've built here, and with the network of friends you've made here. So you're all set. Congratulations. While each and every one of you can be proud of the accomplishments you've achieved, one among you has been designated the outstanding senior student, and that is Ms. Haley Dixon. As I ask Ms. Dixon to come forward, join me in a round of applause for her. Throughout her academic career, Ms. Dixon's scholarly performance has been impeccable. Her double major in communication and fine arts, and as a minor in anthropology and human geography. Professors say she personifies academic distinction and often makes an impact on other students. Her critical thinking skills, active participation, and insightful questions have been credited with increasing the knowledge and understanding of her classmates. Haley has taken advantage of several experimental learning opportunities while at USC Aiken, including studying abroad in Valencia, Spain, interning with both WJBF News Channel 6 in Augusta and our own USC Aiken Sports Information Office, also serving on the staff of Broken Ink, which is USC Aiken's award-winning student-led visual and literary arts magazine for 4 years, including as editor-in-chief. And participating in the University Theater Players, as well as a variety of other student organizations. A full list of Ms. Dixon's accomplishments is included in your program. Please join me in congratulating our outstanding senior student, Ms. Haley Dixon.
Haley, congratulations, and thank you, Blake, for the introductions. I know our newest alumni will be tremendous assets for USC Aiken's Alumni Association. We're so grateful to our alumni for your support of our students in the university. They provide numerous scholarships for our students. Each December, we're proud to ask one of our alumni back to address our graduates. And tonight, we are so honored to welcome an accomplished and actively engaged alumnus, Ms. Amanda Whittle. She's from the class of 1992, and she's returned to her alma mater to share insights with her future fellow alumni. Earlier this year, Governor Henry McMaster appointed her South Carolina's State Child Advocate and Director of the South Carolina Department of Children's Advocacy. Before taking on these responsibilities, she worked as the Assistant General Counsel for the state's Department of Social Services. Ms. Whittle was also a family court practitioner with Johnson Johnson Whittle and Snell Grove Attorneys, PA. She is admitted to the South Carolina Bar and the United States District Court, and is certified as a child welfare law specialist through the National Association of the Council for Children. You'll find a full list of Ms. Whittle's accomplishments in your program. But right now, please join me in giving her a warm Pacer welcome back home.
Chancellor Jordan and esteemed faculty members, members of the Board of Trustees, the local legislative delegation, the Aiken County Commission for Higher Education, family, friends, and members of the class of 2019, I am grateful for the opportunity to be among you, particularly with my fellow Pacers. Congratulations to you. Exams are over. You don't have any more papers to submit. Deadlines are resolved, and you can relax for now. And this is a wonderful opportunity to celebrate, and you should. Congratulations on choosing USC Aiken, a highly ranked public regional college in the South by U.S. News and World Report year after year. You made a great choice. Many of you may have been born here in Aiken, and others decided to make Aiken your home for the past few years. I was born in Aiken, and but for a time that I attended law school in Columbia, South Carolina, I have actually lived in South Carolina my entire life. So I should be somewhat of an expert on Southernness. I will tell you that being a Southerner has some nuances. I even took a class here at USC Aiken called Southern Studies. So it is a study to understand the South. When I was growing up in the South, I would hear phrases I didn't fully understand. And it took me a lifetime to understand some of those things. Things like, a rolling stone gathers no moss. I can remember being a little girl and thinking, what in the world does that mean? Or, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I don't know about y'all, but we didn't put eggs in a basket in my house. They went in the refrigerator. And one that really perplexed me was this thing about roots that grow to China. I can remember hearing adults say, Oh, I wouldn't have a China berry tree in my yard. Those things have roots that go to China. Or somebody would build a house and they'd plant a wisteria bush, and folks would say, I can't believe they built that house and planted a wisteria bush. They're pretty and all, but they have roots that grow to China. And I can remember being a little girl, and I would ask people, what does that mean? And you know, little girls, I don't know about your experience, but mine has been, we ask a lot of questions. So the adults in my life would kind of wave me off. And do you know you cannot Google what it means, this roots that grow to China? You can't Google it. Even in 2019, you can't Google it. You can Google another thing that always perplexed me, and that was, if the British settled in the original 13 colonies, right? If Britons celebrated, colonized the 13 colonies, why do I talk like this? Why don't I sound like Queen Elizabeth? You can Google that. You can Google that. But you can't Google what I'm going to share with you tonight, because I've had to live in the South to figure this out. And I pondered it on my own. And as a 7-year-old, I really thought I had figured out this roots that grow to China thing. Even at the age of 7, I believed there was a lot of evil in the world. And I believed it came from the devil. I was taught not to hate anyone. And I can remember asking my mom, again, this little 7-year-old girl who had lots of questions, I'd say, well, I know I'm not supposed to hate anybody, but can I hate the devil? My mom would say, well, yes, you can hate the devil, but you can only hate the devil. I believed that if I could destroy the devil, I would destroy evil. And that seemed like the singularly most important thing I could do for my family and strangers alike. But I had to get to him. And I didn't exactly know where the devil was. At the age of 7, though, I knew he was underneath. You know what I'm talking about? And I knew that these roots were underneath. And over time, and by over time, I mean 7-year-old girl little time, so we're talking maybe days or hours over time, it occurred to me that these roots, these terrible roots, were probably, more than likely, the fortress of the devil. And if I could destroy these terrible roots that go to China, I could destroy evil, eradicate the devil, make my mama proud, and be a very important person for all mankind. So on a very hot summer afternoon, while my parents were at work and while my brother and I were at home with an unsuspecting babysitter, I worked out a plan. I would tell my brother that we were going to destroy the devil that afternoon. And of course, he was like, great. So sure enough, he was game for it. We dug and dug. And I'm not talking about that nice, black, rich soil you may be envisioning. I'm talking about that red, hard, sandy kind of dirt that doesn't want to be dug. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That terrible kind of dirt. That made me positive we were on the right track. I knew that that's just the kind of dirt the devil would want to live in. So after a long time of digging, I'm talking maybe 20 minutes, I thought, this is ridiculous. We have to make progress. We got to speed this thing up. So I went inside, checked on my babysitter, made certain she was still watching soap operas and talking on the phone to her boyfriend. I went back outside and I asked my brother to help me pull some green onions, those are weeds, and gather some pine straw and put all that in the hole we dug. I then pulled out the matches I'd gotten when I went inside to check on the babysitter. My brother was like, what are you doing? I told him to hold that hose pipe and to stand right near that hole after I lit the matches. And I lit match after match. And after about 1 million matches, I had a really good fire going. And once I did, I felt like I was well on my way. But then, y'all, that fire spread quickly from our backyard to the neighbor's backyard, which was across a chain link fence. I looked at my brother and his mouth was wide open. He was holding that hose pipe and it was not on. So yeah, we were screaming, the babysitter came outside, parents got called, neighbors came outside, and I was no hero. at the end of the day. So y'all are probably flipping through your program right about now thinking, my gosh, who is this person and why is she here? So I want to share with you 3 valuable lessons about my Southern roots to China story. Number 1, know yourself. I am impatient. I dug for 20 minutes, and that probably is a stretch. And then I started a fire to get things going a bit. Maybe you are patient. Maybe you're not good at details, or maybe you hate math. So as you sit here tonight, think about yourself. What is your blind side? I can tell you that it didn't take me long in my life to figure out I was impatient. And I found myself attracted to people who maybe were. And so about 26 years ago, my husband, James Whittle, was on his knee with a beautiful ring, and he asked me to marry him. And I leaned down and I said, when? And he said, well, first, you need to tell me, do you want to marry me? And then we'll talk about when. So what I've learned over my life is that I've been thankful to have over half my life with somebody who has my blind side, somebody who I trust and who helps me through these kinds of things. So what is your blind side? And how will you protect yourself? And y'all, it's not just about protecting yourself. It's about protecting your neighbor's yard, you know? So how will you protect yourself and your neighbor's yard from your blind side? Number 2, check yourself. I unilaterally, 7 years old, came up with a plan and didn't tell anybody about it. I did not ask anyone for their opinion, advice, or permission. The truth is that I thought I had a fantastic idea and that I would be a famous and awesome person if it worked out. I didn't want to share the credit with anybody. And as it turns out, if I had actually discussed it, at least with my brother, we probably would have changed at least one thing. You probably have already guessed it. That water hose would have been on. Number 3, challenge yourself. Without a doubt, the day I caught my family's and neighbors' yards on fire was not my best day. I'm certain my mom was so disappointed in me. She probably thought, my gosh, what are we going to do with her? She's 7 years old and she's setting fires in the backyard and talking about the devil and roots and China. And I am so sorry for the way I must have made her feel. But y'all, I was a 7-year-old with a mission, and I was challenging myself. I was trying to destroy evil completely. And honestly, I was a little weird, and I think a lot of folks thought I was a little weird. And sometimes even right at this moment, I feel a little weird. I think we all feel a little weird sometimes. We all feel a little disconnected with what's going on in the world from time to time. But I know I can absolutely tell you this with certainty. The world needs us to think about big ideas that make the world better. The world needs you to do the right thing, the right way, for the right reasons, in the light of day, while collaborating with people you trust who know more than you know. When I was here at USC Aiken, the Gulf War began. The Berlin Wall came down, and Nelson Mandela was released after 27 years in captivity. Gives me the chills to tell you that. That happened while I was here. And I am grateful to have learned of those events while studying political science and history with Dr. Carol Bosch and Dr. Bob Bosch, with Dr. Valdez Lumens and Dr. Garma Nagash and many others. They were my community. They embraced me, weirdness and all. And they still do. They came back tonight, y'all. They know me. They had to teach me, but they didn't have to come back, and they did. They keep coming back. Attending USC Aiken was one of the best decisions I have ever made. And I know you have people here who have influenced you during your time here at USC Aiken. I hope you will stay connected with USC Aiken and with this community. Know yourself, check yourself, challenge yourself. Congratulations again, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you, Ms. Whittle. Thank you first for all you do for children in the state of South Carolina. You are indeed a wonderful representative of this university, and we're so proud of your success. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and reflections with us on this special evening. I'm pretty sure I speak for the faculty, staff, and alumni of USC Aiken when I say that your alma mater is very, very proud of you and the exceptional work that you have done. Thank you for sharing your story. I doubt we're going to forget the fire in the yard anytime soon, and I'm certainly going to hide my matches next time she comes to campus. I'd now like to invite Dr. Darren Timmons, our provost and our executive vice chancellor for academic affairs. He will be presenting the degree candidates for recognition.
As we begin recognizing tonight's degree candidates, I ask that you help us make the ceremony a pleasant experience for all. Please hold your applause and celebrations during the announcement of the candidates' names so that each family has the opportunity to hear their graduate's name being announced. We will join together to congratulate the graduates collectively after all have been introduced, and I'll give you ample opportunity to express your enthusiasm at that time. Will the members of the graduating class please rise? That's you. Chancellor Jordan? All candidates who stand before you and others whose achievements are being recorded officially by the university, who complete the requirements for their several degrees, are recommended by the faculty for the awarding of these degrees.
Having been recommended by the faculty of the University of South Carolina, Aiken, and certified for graduation by the Office of Academic Affairs, the degree candidates will now be presented.
Ladies and gentlemen, please move your tassels from right to left. We welcome you to the community of USC Aiken scholars. Explanations of the various types of honors and honor society memberships, including any academic regalia being worn by candidates, are explained in your program. As I now read the names of the candidates, we ask that family members remember that we have professional photographers here for tonight's ceremony. So we ask that you please not come down into the aisles during the ceremony to take pictures. Master of Business Administration, Megan Sherwood Bailey. Todd Norman Bollinger. Freddie Jr. Bullock III. Tina McCall Dawson. John Charles Dover. Seth Michael Goodnow. Lawrence Thomas Kehoe III. Mariah Morris. Erica Faye Ramsey. Lauren Alexandra Stevens. Bachelor of Arts. Whitney Brianna Alston. Christian Bailey Aragon. Hannah Jessica Marlene Barker. Brett Hayes Barnhill. Victoria Desiree Beck. Anna Elizabeth Bowers. Janae Dominique Boyd. Jewel Brown. Joshua Perry Capers. Casey Ann Carpenter, Olivia Grace Cheshire, Haley Elise Dixon, Mary Nicole Duffield, Anika Edwards, Blair Lynn Effler, Barbara Ann Fielding, Lawrence Eugene Fields III, William Robert Franklin III, Jonathan Granger, Jamira Nichelle Graves, Rebecca Marie Hammond, Nicholas Michael Jobst, Samantha Renee Knight, Mitchell Robert Kuntz, Martha Martinez, Gaurang Suresh Patel, Morgan Lee Pruitt, Darius Montez Smith, Rihanna Noel Smith, Alexis Lene Sweet, Lawans Toomey, Celine Eren Wayne, Kiana Amaya Whitmore, Brittany Sheridan Young, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Sherry Drafts, Larry Creighton Green Jr., Jordan Barrett Horton, Brian Gregory Hurt II, Ashley Renee Leopard, Kayla Marie Marshall, Amanda Marie O'Quinn, Benjamin Joseph Paget, Ariel Starr Pearson, Laken Taylor Pritchard, Sydney Elise Renfro, Allison Joanne Royston, Rainey Brooks Spires, Nicole Marie Stefanski, Destiny Raven Taylor, Joshua Corinthian Pontoon, Victoria Claire Thomas, Caitlin Michelle Vinson, Bachelor of Arts in Special Education, Michaela Ann McAlpin, Seth Williamson McKinney, Bachelor of Science, Brandon Raekwon Abels, Janae Simone Abraham, Jessica Elaine Alvashire, Sarah Christine Anderson, Kelagero Balsamo, Jennifer Ann Bojeskol, Derek Michael Boozer, Taylor Nicole Brantley, Courtney Sierra Cheatham, Samantha Ray Fox, James Fulmer, Robert Aaron Garrett. Jocelyn Gomez. Brooke Kelly Howdyshell. William Thomas James IV. Brianna Jefferson. Deidre D. Jefferson. Sade Nicole Johnson. Ashley Nicole Matlock. Megan Sue McGuire. Brooklyn Denise McKenzie. Shellen Najar. Jacob Ray Norton. Andrew Keith Pratt. Priscilla Jeanne Raymond. Sosan Razé Froton. Rebecca Kathleen Schonder. Marandra Brianna Schultz. Sonia Scott. Leah Farrow Settles. Amber Diane Shaw. Chelsea Lynn Stacy. Sean D. Sultan. Nikita Cheyenne Sumter. Arthur Christian Ward. Raven Janae Rice. Brandon Michael Wright. Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Jade Abney. Rachel Nicole Aldridge. Matthew Lee Behringer. Adam Barton. Preston James Bain. Sydney Kelly Bolton. Aaron Joseph Brandt. Shaquila Lashante Browning. Michael Hunter Camp. Ryan Nicholas Campbell. Robert Braylon Cumby. Mika Tomas Diaz. Charisma Ramari Doctor. Sherilyn Elaine Edwards. Winter Grace Gibson. Savannah Lorian Gossett. Devin William Grenville. Karen Schaus Hall. William Thomas Johns. Brian Douglas Krieger. Erica Jade Langford. Walter Roland Lewis. Aubrey Marie Melvin. Kelly Marie Metz. William Tyler Moore Jr. Brianna Jasmine Nesbitt. Colin Cannon O'Brien. Mark Stephen Pelfrey. Theodore James Rich. Grant Listern Robinson. Emily Grace Sarka. Kyle Mitchell Savarance. Morgan Taylor Schoolfield. Talas Silva. Caleb Ryan Stanford. Regis James Strauss. Valerie Ann Wacker. Alexis Kiana Washington, Robert Logan Watson, Kendra Neal Witherspoon, Cassidy Michelle Wynn, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Erica LaVey Ashley, Brandy Ronique Eugenia Benjamin, and Hilton Bond, Haley Nicole Burchett, Lara Ruth Campbell, Ryan Michael Deegan, Yennefer Evelyn Fernandez, Neve Angelitza Gonzalez Lara, Kayla Nicole Hambrick, Taylor Ann Ivy, Pamela Carr Inanga, Morgan Taylor Matthews, Destiny Sade McMickle, Hannah Elise Miller, Catherine Ann Miller, Emily Ann Morrison, Harley Renee Munitz, Alexis Carol Neely, Hyun Nam Nguyen, Katie Rose Roberts, Emily Elizabeth Roberts, Tanya Danielle Rogers, Bridget Kate Sampson, Cedric Scott, Jenna Ann Sills, Jada Marie Simpson, Carol Marie Utter, Shelby Christine Valentine, Kayla Lee Williams, Brooke Lynn Winkler, Krista Marie Wood, Brittany Nicole Worrell, Clarence Harrison Musselwhite IV, Muhammad Bari,
Now, in my script, it says, now is the time for celebration. Let's do it one more time. As the evening draws to a close, there are a few acknowledgments I am delighted to make. USC Aiken has a strong base of support from alumni and our community. This support plays a critical role in the continued success of our university and in our ability to provide a quality educational experience for all of our students. I'd like to take a moment to thank our alumni and our friends. The family and the friends of our graduates are the individuals who have shared the burdens as well as the joys of a college experience. For all of their encouragement and counsel, their support and their guidance, I'd like to pause right now and say thank you to the parents, the guardians, the spouses, the children of our graduates, and all of their family members and friends. Will you stand so we can recognize you? Stand up. Thank you. USC Aiken is extremely fortunate to have an outstanding and committed faculty, as I'm sure our students, our graduates would agree. Their time invested in and their compassion for our students as individuals, their commitment to high standards, and their genuine concern for creating a meaningful learning experience and environment are all evident in what they do every single day. So it is my distinct honor to introduce the members of the faculty. If you would please rise and let us thank you for all that you do. And now we've come to the end of our program. Will everyone please stand as Ms. Jocelyn Gomez As Ms. Jocelyn Gomez, an exercise and sports science graduate, leads us in the benediction. Following the benediction, we'll ask Ms. Jackson to lead us in the first verse of the Carolina Alma Mater. The words of the Alma Mater can be found in your program. After that, I'm going to ask that you please remain standing for the recessional of the platform party and the recessional of our faculty. Thank you again for joining us here this evening for this very special occasion in the lives of our graduates.
In a way comfortable for you, please join me in observing a brief prayer. We thank you, Lord, for this special day. We are grateful for all of the graduates that have reached an honorable accomplishment. Thank you for each and every parent, faculty, staff, and friend that was able to encourage us through our journey. It was a great opportunity to be a part of this institution for a short time. Thank you for the knowledge and prosperity for our futures. We ask that you could help us have key values like loyalty, hope, and love. Help us to show love to all people, because with it, we are a more unified society. Let us be uplifting individuals wherever we are, and again, stand in love that remains. May we all go safely and in peace to celebrate with family and friends. Amen.